back to DXB. Today we're having ourselves a little bit of a foodie special. Not sure if we can call Dubai the culinary capital of the world just yet, but you know what? We're tracking towards that at the moment, and we're giving it a good nudge, that's for sure. How do we know that? A, look at the restaurant industry here, look at the food industry here. B, look at the talent coming to Dubai to set up as well, including the man alongside me. He's the brains behind Kashkan. He is a celebrity chef, he's an actor, he's much in demand here, but he's given us his time. Ranveer, Brar, great to see you as always.
Thank you, it's such a pleasure being here, and yeah, thank you for having me over.
Listen, you have achieved so much in your career to date, and you are renowned across the region. You could have pretty much put a pin into any part of the world and said, I'll open a restaurant there. So the question is, why Dubai for the expansion of the portfolio?
I think you answered that question when you started the show, right? It's pretty much getting to be the culinary capital of the world. Also, we have restaurants we have 9 restaurants in the US. And for me, Dubai, it's a 2.5-hour flight. You know, for me, flying from Mumbai to Delhi is as much as flying from Mumbai to Dubai. I can manage a restaurant here that easily as much as I can manage in Delhi. Also, I feel it's the right place to be because any artist, you know, you're useless without people who understand and appreciate the art. So you look for places where people appreciate where you're coming from, appreciate the expression. I think Dubai is that place.
And the competition, is the competition good as well for you and for the industry as a whole?
I always say the bigger the pie, the better it is. You know,
yeah. I like a big pie. You know, I'm a big fan of a big pie. That's for sure.
So I don't believe in saturated markets and this whole, you know. And funnily, even in the US, when we expand to places where the pie is already big. You know, we say we've come to make the pie bigger. And that I think is the beauty of the food business. And as long as people have breakfast, lunch and dinner, chefs like us have a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Chef, I'm a huge fan of yours. I discovered you, I think, around about the time of the lockdown when I was trying to work on my culinary skills. I've actually prepared some of your dishes at home, tagged you in it. You liked them, I screenshotted it and reposted it, but who's keeping track of that? I've been lucky enough to try some of the dishes at your restaurant. How has it been since the opening of Kashkan?
No, it's been fantastic. I think, you know, the sign that you're doing something right is when you don't feel the need to change. And in the first 2 to 3 months of the restaurant, if you don't feel the need to change anything, it means, you know, you're doing something right. And we get that sense in the first 3 months of the restaurant. The idea behind the restaurant, or, you know, I've been cooking for 30 odd years now. And what I've realized is as we take this curve of life, as chefs and as artists, we get to places where it becomes extremely simple, right? So the idea of the restaurant is to keep the food simple, keep it honest, take you to a place where, you know, you get it. It's like those popcorn moments. You just gotta, you know, you get it. You don't need to be explained, and you don't need to have long and complicated dishes. I thought Dubai was ready for that, even in the middle of a lot of, you know, restaurants. It was a risk that we took. We said we're just going to do simple Indian food that reminds people of India if they've traveled there, or that gives them a sneak peek into the simplicity of the country. And that working for me is a sign of a very mature market.
Is that a philosophy that rings true with you as well?
Regarding that, I think for me, I'm still at the beginning of my career. So I think that he has seen things, he has experienced things, he has reached maybe even a level of ease, a facility of doing business, of making menus, of just hiring, talking, training, which for me is still like I need to put a lot of energy to fully comprehend. So I feel like it's not a philosophy that I fully understand yet, because I've only been cooking for 5 to 6 years. Perhaps maybe in 30 years, as you were saying, maybe I'll be able to understand that more. But it's just, there's a lot of work that even if you're successful young, you can't compensate experience that he has.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think in 30 years you can ask me that question.
It's so fascinating, actually, listening to very, very different perspectives from the same industry. Now, I wanted to ask in terms of, I mean, we introduced you as celebrity chef. We were speaking earlier about what it means to have a Michelin star. Is that a curse or a blessing? To be known as a celebrity chef, do you like that? Do you hate it?
I think this is a very good question, Katie. You know, so when I started cooking, and we did restaurants in the US, and initially they weren't really doing well. So people said, you know what, just grow a fat belly and just grow like big mustache or something. You need to look the Indian chef part. You know, nobody was. I'm talking about 2001, right? Nobody would trust a skinny Indian chef in the US. You know. And I've seen that place where you sort of, you know, there is a chef and then there's a celebrity chef. Today, I think all chefs are celebrities.
Okay.
You know, we are at a time where if you don't see a chef walk up and talk to a guest on table, you think something's wrong.
It's almost become like a rock star industry. Almost,
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely. So I think times have changed. You've learned to accept the fact that you're in the business, you're in the show business. It is you're as much a marketeer of the restaurant than anything else, and that's what we are here to do, right? We're here to talk about a restaurant. So it comes to you as a second nature, and after a point in time, you become comfortable, and I hate to say, but slightly indifferent to the celebrity bit of it, and you carry on with your life.
But do you kind of revel in it as well? Like, you realize how much it brings to the business, I suppose.
Yeah, you learn to utilize it.
Nice. Weaponize it.
Can I ask, did it used to bother you at the beginning, or did
Yes,
it make
it did. It did.
Because I'm at the beginning, right? And like all of a sudden I went from being a guy who grew up in Dera to being a chef that everyone in Dubai knows. And then like, which of course I'm very grateful for because it's a very good opportunity. But also it's always been like, for me, like a struggle. Like there is Sulaiman Haddad and there's the guy in my house, and they're not the same people. And like, you know, like on my day off, I make it a point, I go out in slippers, I go out like as comfortable as I want, because I never want to feel like I have to look a certain way because now people know me, I have to behave. I just want to be myself, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
And again, going back to the 5 years versus 30 years, being on the other side, being on the beginning side, how has that been at the beginning for you?
No, I think initially you're like, you know, initially India is a very celebrity first sort of a country.
Yeah.
Let's accept that, you know.
Yeah.
Your skills don't matter if you have the presence, right? Initially it is a struggle saying, hey, I can cook as well. How, I mean, you know, have you been to my restaurant yet? No, can we just get a picture with you? Initially it troubles you, right?
That was me when I went to his restaurant. Like, picture.
But I think over a period of time, you learn to make peace with it. You learn to be more grateful.
Maybe we need to use it.
You learn to appreciate it, and you learn to use it. You learn to keep yourself. You learn to make both Sulaiman Haddad's meet. you
Yeah.
know, and then you're
okay.
at peace. So I think I'm 100% sure you get there in no time.
Ran, we could talk for hours. Unfortunately, we've only got 1 hour as well. And we've got loads of guests to get into as well on our culinary landscape. Last one from me. What's next for Chef Ranveer, for actor Ranveer? What's 2024 got in store?
So this acting thing is something that it sort of bumped my way, and I said, okay, sure, why not? And there's this, whether you like it or not, there's always this obsession with Bollywood. So I just did a Bollywood film that's going to launch in the February of 2024 in terms of the acting bit. There's another Kashkan opening up next year in Dubai. We're opening 3 more restaurants in the US, and we're launching a series on Netflix. Keeping my fingers crossed before the end of next year.
So all in all, it's a really quiet year.
Yeah, I was going to say. My goodness.
So not much going on
yeah,
then.
Exactly. Chef, honestly, thank you so much for coming in. I mean, you're clearly super busy. We're glad you found the time. Good luck for 2024, and we hope to have you
Katie.
back on the show next year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
indeed.
Cheers.
Okay, moving on. More culinary delights. Ahmed went down to Soon Izakaya, serving high-end Japanese cuisine infused with neoteric pop culture. To have a one-of-a-kind izakaya experience. It has to be one of a kind. Let's check it out.